And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Wednesday. It is January 28th, 2026. Me and you for two. Those are the rules of engagement. And we begin the fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's staying warm, shoveling out, things like that. And let's get rolling. Obviously, this happened after we left the air yesterday. But Bill Belichick has been informed that he will not be a part of this year's Hall of Fame class in Canton. I don't know where I could go that hasn't been gone before, but I've always felt this way about the Football Hall of Fame process. It has a skull and bones feel to it. Why the secrecy? Who picks these 50 people? Why are these 50 people the people that will decide whether or not somebody becomes part of forever? Why? And then, on top of the people's career, you have to have somebody from each area actually make a case, make a presentation for the person that's up for voting. Why? The presentation is their career. Why do you need a presentation? It's the most moronic thing I've ever heard. And again, I'd like to know who chooses the 50 people. So we've all heard this before. He did not get 40 of the 50. So you need to get 80% to get in. So there are at least 11 people that voted no. And not one of those 11 people have had the guts to step forward and go, I voted no, and here's why. So I keep hearing, even from my friend Gary Myers, why do you want the people to make their vote public so that they could get egged? No. We're not talking about doxing somebody. This isn't a presidential campaign. This isn't politics. This is something for the entertainment of people. So if you're going to keep out probably the greatest coach/manager in the history of professional sports, don't you think that we should hear your thinking? And I've been saying this for a long time about the clown that didn't vote for Derek Jeter. Why has that person never stepped up? Is it a personal vendetta? Is it something so ridiculous that maybe you should have your vote taken away from you? So I keep hearing whispers about Belichick. Well, he didn't get in because they're punishing him for Deflategate and Spygate. Oh, okay, let's start from there. If, in fact, you're not in because of that, you don't get a 1-year respite. You don't ever get in. What, are they going to slap you on the wrist like you're a bad little boy? Nah, you know what? You can't do that, so we're going to keep you out for a year just to embarrass you. Are you kidding me? So then Tom Brady doesn't get in on his first try. He just doesn't. Nobody from that Patriots team should ever be able to get in because you think they got in under false pretense. There are people in the Hall of Fame that got suspended, this Football Hall of Fame, for PD use. And it's like nothing. You don't think other people tried to illegally steal signs? I know Belichick got caught. And he was punished for it. The organization was fined. He lost a first-round draft pick and more. Probably lost an opportunity to break Don Shula's record. This guy's won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, 2 as the vaunted assistant of Bill Parcells with the Giants. He coached to 9 Super Bowls, lost 3 of them, and he doesn't belong in the Hall? First try? Unanimous? Are you kidding me? And then the people that didn't vote for him get to hide in the cloak of anonymity? What a joke. This is a league now that Bill Belichick's not in the Hall of Fame and Shedeur Sanders is in the Pro Bowl. The world is upside down. It's absolutely embarrassing for the NFL. But the product is so beloved. Do you know that the Patriots-Broncos game averaged 48.618 million viewers? and it peaked at 57.759 viewers. So nobody's going to get the NFL nervous. But keeping Bill Belichick out, are you kidding me? What pettiness. And here's something that also makes me wonder what's going on. So Bill Polian, who we used to have on the show all the time in the afternoon show, me, Don, and Peter, all the time. And Don always does an imitation of him because it always sounds like he's screaming. So there were rumors out there that he made the presentation that because of the cheating, we should keep him out a year to teach him a lesson. Oh, bad boy, Bill, we're going to teach you a lesson. He denies that he did that. So in two separate interviews, though, he gives two separate stories. And it makes you wonder, how will Bill Polian keep his vote if, in fact, this is true? So to SI, he said, I never said that, and I did vote for him. I most definitely voted for him. Then he was interviewed by ESPN, and he said, I did not make that pitch that he should be punished, and I'm pretty certain that I voted for him. I'm 95% certain that I voted for him. You don't know who you voted for? You don't know whether or not you voted for Bill Belichick. How did the story change from the guy that got him at SI, and he said, I definitely voted for him, and then right after that, he gets interviewed by a couple of writers from ESPN, and he said he's 95% sure that he voted for him. Well, Bill, if you don't know who you voted for, then you shouldn't be voting anymore. How could you not know if you voted for the greatest coach of all time? How? How could you not know that? Doesn't this smell like something weird? The whole thing makes the NFL and the Football Hall of Fame look ridiculous. And to make it even more ridiculous, I don't know what the negativity toward the Patriots organization is. Do you realize that in addition to Bill Belichick not getting in his first try, that Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, 12 years, has had an opportunity to be voted in, and he does not get the amount of votes needed to get in? Explain that. Now, you can say, well, owners don't belong in it. Whatever the case may be, there are owners in there, including Jerry Jones. So Jerry Jones, who sued the league, who went up against the league, has not been in a Super Bowl for about a quarter of a century, has won 3 as an owner. Robert Kraft has won 6 as an owner. He's been in 10 Super Bowls as an owner, now the 11th with Vrabel getting in. He has been a big mover and shaker behind the scenes when it comes to the television contracts that have put the NFL at a level that no one can touch, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. Explain that. So what does it mean? You haven't kissed enough butt? That there's some people on this 50-person committee that don't like him for some reason or another? Did some people not vote for Bill Belichick because he wasn't nice to them? That's like keeping Bobby Knight out of the College Basketball Hall of Fame because he was terrible to the media. Sometimes your personality and how you treat the people that vote for you is superseded by your greatness. So is this the payback to Bill? Because when you'd ask him questions, he'd go on to Cincinnati. Bill Belichick's not a likable guy. He's not. Supposedly he was very tough to work for, didn't treat people well, but it doesn't erase the fact that he's one of the greatest probably the greatest coach or manager in the history of sports. Oh, he never did anything without Tom Brady. Okay. Who drafted Tom Brady? Who lasted to the 6th round? Who's the one who did it? Who's the one who had the guts to not give Drew Bledsoe back the job? Who? Who won a playoff game as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns? Who drew up one of the greatest defensive game plans in the history of football that's in the Hall of Fame when the Giants beat the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl? Who did that? Tell me a Hall of Fame coach that's in the Hall of Fame that didn't have a great quarterback. You don't win Super Bowls unless you have a great quarterback. There's the occasional Trent Dilfer outlier or whatever the case may be. But really, think about it. This is a black mark for the Hall of Fame. And I need somebody to explain to me who chooses the 50 people. And why is there such secrecy to it? Again, it has a skull and bones feel to it. This should be public domain. This is entertainment. People love these people. They want them to go to the Hall of Fame. And if they're not going, we should know why. And to this point, so it's been almost 24 hours, a little under 24 hours. The 11 people, at least 11, that didn't vote for him have not come forward. Well, number one, they're gutless. Number two, what are they going to say? What could their possible reason be? They're probably petty, vindictive little people. They really are. And this is a guy who reveres NFL history. It will probably haunt him to his grave that he did not beat out Don Shula for the most wins for an NFL coach. He reveres the Hall of Fame. He realizes what it means. Has he had a great second act? No, he hasn't. The whole Jordan Hudson thing, going to North Carolina, getting summarily dismissed by New England after a couple of rough years when Brady left and Brady goes to Tampa Bay and wins the Super Bowl. I get all of it, but that doesn't erase what he did before. What an absolute disgrace. And again, somebody, please step up. Step up and tell me, I'd like to know, why do these people get to cast their votes and not have to explain them? And please don't equate it to a political vote where everybody gets to cast their vote in secret. This is not that. This is fun and games. So if you're enough of an egomaniacal nudnik that you didn't vote for Bill Belichick, tell me why. It's all fun and games. What are you afraid of? Like Gary Martin, what are you going to egg their house? No. You're on a 50-man committee. If you don't want to make your vote public, then be removed from the committee. Why is it that the Baseball Hall of Fame has 430 writers that have to work 10 years covering the sport, 10 consecutive years covering the sport to get a vote? What's the qualifications of the 50 people that are voting? And why do they seem like they keep that vote forever? There are still people on that 50-person committee that haven't covered the sport in a while. You know, if you don't cover the sport for a long time, the BBWAA has the right to take your vote away. But the NFL, well, they have to stand up and give a presentation. You know, why should Eli Manning be in the Hall of Fame? Why should Robert Kraft be in the Hall of Fame? Why should Bill Belichick be in the Hall of Fame? They actually have to have a presentation. The presentation was their career. The whole thing is done in the shadows where they're trading favors and stuff like that. Why? Why can't everybody that covers football have a vote? So these 50 exalted members of the media, they get a vote. Bill Polian is an example. So it's not only the media. Now, although he worked for ESPN, he had a career in the front offices of the NFL. And by the way, his teams were denied the ultimate prize plenty of times because of Bill Belichick. Could that be the reason why supposedly he didn't vote for him, although he's 95% sure that he did? I give Jimmy Johnson credit. Jimmy Johnson is in, and he is scorched earth on social media about how insulting and ridiculous it is that this guy's not in. It's a really embarrassing day for football. It really is. And nobody's making Bill Belichick out to be an angel. Those things are part of his record. But he doesn't get in the Hall of Fame on the first try. Well, what do you have to do? You have to win 10 Super Bowls? He won 6, went to 9, won 2 as an assistant with the Giants. Not good enough to be in the Hall of Fame? And once again, I will come back next year at this time if he doesn't get in again because of those 11 people and they stand on their belief that he shouldn't get in because he cheated. All right, so if you truly believe that, you have to keep him out forever. You don't keep him out for 1 year like you're the parent and he's the bad child and you're going to spank him by embarrassing him and keeping him out for 1 year. How dare you? Who are you? What have you accomplished that even comes close to what Bill Belichick accomplished? Who are you to keep him out for 1 year? Let's see if you have the gonads to keep out Tom Brady for 1 year. He had Deflategate. He got suspended for 4 games. Bill Belichick never got suspended. Brady got suspended for 4 games for his part in Deflategate. You going to keep him out? You've already embarrassingly kept out Robert Kraft. For what reason, I don't know. Who could be a better owner than that guy? The guy used to sit in the stands at Old Schaefer Stadium as a fan. Then became successful enough to buy the team, and he's made the team the model team in the NFL. And he's not in the Hall of Fame, but Jerry Jones is. Okay, I'll play along. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to the phones. Start off with Vinny in Staten Island. Vinny.
What's up, Michael?
Hey,
This
Vin.
is the biggest joke. How you doing? The biggest joke I've ever seen in my life. Like you said, he drew up that game plan to beat the Bills. The Bills were on fire that year. 9 Super Bowls, 6 wins, 2 as a defensive coordinator. It's becoming like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We're going to put rappers in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And it was perfectly said. And now we got Bad Bunny paying respect to drag queens in the Super Bowl. The NFL is becoming an absolute joke. The greatest coach of all time not going to be in the Hall of Fame because of what you said, these clowns who have done nothing even close to him in their life of keeping him out for 1 year. And let me tell you something, they're not going to have the guts to keep Tom Brady out because Tom Brady's part of the NFL. He's part of the wokeness now. All right, take care. Thank you, Michael. Bye.
You got it, Vinny. A lot of people are upset with this. Let's go to Jim in Queens. Jim. Hello, Jim. James? Hi, Jim.
Yes, Michael.
Yes, how are you?
How are you, Mike? I didn't hear the thing. Sorry.
That's right.
Listen. First of all, vindictive. You're a vindictive guy. I know you are. You love the vindictiveness of that. But listen, and I can't hear people talk about Bill Belichick loves the sanctity of the NFL, and he adores it. Well, you cheated the NFL twice, not once, twice. Now and now we got coaches like Jimmy Johnson and Bill Cowher saying, "Oh, we all cheated." Well, no one came out and said boo when he got caught cheating. Now all of a sudden that was a common practice. So he never got properly dealt with the cheating scandals. Like the NFL burned the tapes, that the evidence that they had.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? Let's not make him out that he's this big historian, love the NFL guy when you're able to do it twice. I mean,
But Jim, here's my point. See if you agree with me. If they keep him out forever, then I'll keep my mouth shut. But how dare they smack him on the wrist? So keeping him out the first year is punishment? It's not for them to punish him. It was for the NFL to punish him.
True. Now, we don't know if these guys, like you said, they stay there forever, these guys, the voters, they might keep him out forever. We don't know. Every year is a new vote. Let's see next year.
But doesn't it bother you, Jim, because obviously you're a fan, that the 11 people, at least 11, why don't they step up and tell us why? Why'd they keep him out?
No. Oh, 100%. I would love it. If I was voting no, I would say it. Give a reason. But, even baseball, they can hide behind, not revealing that they did it. I wish someone would. I would respect the hell out of him, honestly. But, I'm just saying, like, it is a bad look for the guy to do it twice. I mean, Marshall Faulk.
Well, no.
That,
he supposedly had nothing to do with the Deflategate. They never implicated him in Deflategate. It was only Brady.
No, okay, but I'm just saying, Marshall Faulk swears that he taped the walkthrough to the Super Bowl. That's kind of a big deal. That's a Super Bowl. So, it is a huge black eye that, you got caught doing it twice. I'm just saying,
okay,
he's going to get in,
but my point is, Jim, that he has to be kept out forever. If that's what you're going to, hoist yourself on your own petard because he had Spygate, which other coaches have come out and said, we all have done that, but he's the one who got caught. It's like I speed on the sprain, but I didn't get caught. My friend did. He got the ticket. Get it. Got it. Understand. Totally understand. But my point is that he should never get in. And why don't the people that decided not to vote him in, why don't they have the courage of their conviction and tell us why they didn't vote him in? Why the mystery? And I stand firm on the guy or gal that didn't vote for Derek Jeter that kept him from being unanimous. How do you look at Derek Jeter's career and say he wasn't a Hall of Famer? And there's always ridiculous people out there. I think there were 11 people that didn't vote in Babe Ruth. He got 95% of the vote, but there were like 10 or 11 people that didn't vote him in. But the person that didn't vote in Derek Jeter still remains anonymous. You know why? Because he or she is a gutless puke. So you decide to hold your vote for this guy. Everything about him says Hall of Fame. There's not one thing that you could look at and say, he doesn't live up to the level of a Hall of Famer. Not one. So if you're that one person, I'd like to know. But that one person has never stepped forward because they're a gutless puke. Mike in Plattsburgh. Mike.
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
Hey, Mike. What's up, man?
Yeah, gutless puke. That's what I want to say. I would like to let everybody know they should make that person available who voted somebody, didn't vote anybody. That should make that person available. But as far as that Bill Belichick, man, I'm a Raider fan. But you know what? He deserves to be in that Hall of Fame no matter what because of the Deflategate and all that. Look what the Astros did in baseball, and they still got that title. Come on, man. Be real. Be real about everything. Make this guy suffer just like they did Pete Rose. Come on.
I mean, at least the one thing with Pete Rose, the thing I didn't like about Pete Rose, Mike, listen, he did break the ultimate rule. Stealing signs in football is not the ultimate rule. I don't even know if there is an ultimate rule in football. Pete Rose did not listen to the sign on the door that said you can't gamble on baseball. But my problem with the Pete Rose situation is that baseball was at fault because they wouldn't let the writers vote on him. They took it out of the writers' hands. That's how much they wanted him to be kept out. And my point with that, and I've said this over and over and over again, and some of my best friends in the world are baseball writers and part of the voting block. Once baseball took Pete Rose's name out of consideration to be voted on, the baseball writer should have stepped up and said, we are out. If you don't trust us to make a decision on a guy who broke the ultimate rule, then we don't want to vote. We don't want to vote. That would have been a stand. Let the writers decide. You let the writers decide on the PED, guys. You let them decide on that, but you didn't let them decide on Pete Rose. I still believe that Pete Rose wouldn't have gotten in, and I personally think Pete Rose doesn't deserve to be in. He was not at all apologetic. He only came clean so he could end up selling a book, and he thought that maybe that would get him in. This is after 2 decades of denial. But Bill Belichick, he stole signs. He stole signs. Which every coach has said, well, we all do some sort of it. But not one, to this point, we'll continue to monitor social media. Not one person that didn't vote him in has the courage of his or her conviction to explain why. And I'm going to tell you what, baseball, many of the writers reveal their vote. Because it's great content. They could write a whole story about why they voted this way and blah, blah, blah. But the Baseball Hall of Fame said that you can remain anonymous. And I'm going to tell you why. Because society is so messed up now that they're afraid that some freak whose player was not voted in, his favorite player wasn't voted in, is going to go seek you out and try to hurt you. That's the reason. That's the reason. But it's strange, though. Most of the voting bloc makes their vote public because they're not afraid, because they have a real reason for why they didn't vote for somebody. And if you have a real reason and you can lay it out in a cogent way, is anybody going to firebomb your house because of it? So now one of the at least 11 people that decided not to put Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame, not one has stepped up and said, I didn't, and here's why. Why not? We keep seeing guys, well, I voted him in. I voted for him. So in all likelihood, some of the people that are saying I voted for him probably didn't. Well, who's to prove it? Are we going to ever prove it? We won't be able to, because of the skull and bones feel of the whole thing. Okay, let's very quietly and secretly pick these 50 people. Well, why are they getting picked? Because this is the people we want voting. But why? This is just what's been decided. Well, why Don Corleone? Why those 50? I don't have to explain to you. Well, why do these 50 people, why does each of them have to make a presentation on a player? Shouldn't that player have his career speak for himself? Isn't that the presentation? That's the way we do it. But why? Because that's the way we do it. The whole thing stinks. We'll come back with more of your phone calls right here on the K Show, ESPN New York.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
When a trophy is raised, it can feel like the season's over. But on the ESPN app, it never really is. Because with more than 47,000 live events, plus originals, highlights, and coverage from every corner of the sports world, there's always something to dive into. No off-season, just everything a fan needs to keep going. Always in season. Get all of ESPN all in one place. Download the ESPN app on your TV or phone today.
Not sure what or who to bet this weekend? College basketball, NBA, soccer, hockey, what about horse racing? Well, The Wiz has you covered. Tune into the Fine Line Saturday at 8 a.m. as The Wiz talks totals, prop bets, money lines, and best bets. Plus, The Wiz talks about the big game. Who you got, Seattle or New England? Follow The Wiz on Instagram at Joe Wiz Sports. It's the best bet in town. The Fine Line with The Wiz Saturday at 8 a.m. Be ready to win.
To the net. Score!
The New York Islanders are back in action with a brand new theme night schedule you won't want to miss. Bring your friends out for the holidays and take home a custom holiday replica jersey, or arrive early for special bobblehead giveaway nights for Matt Barzell and Bo Horvat.
Barzell for Horvat. Score!
Explore the full theme night schedule at NewYorkIslanders.com.
Listen, I know the mentality. You try to play through pain and walk it off. Push through one more day. But when it comes to neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain, that's a losing game. That's when you call Dr. J. Shaw at Sandwell Pain. Dr. Shaw is one of New Jersey's top pain specialists, Ivy League trained, double board certified, and he focuses on non-surgical solutions that get real results. No cuts, no downtime, no dependence on pain meds. He builds you a custom game plan for you so that you can move better, feel better, and live pain-free. Same day or next day appointments are available. Visit SandwellPain.com. Stop managing pain. Start beating it.
This is Rick Brunson, the assistant coach from the New York Knicks. I'll be driving to our games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing. Just mention I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory and great deals on new vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Rick Brunson sent you.
Hey, sorry I missed you. Your call is very important to me. Just not as important as the New Jersey Lottery's Green Ball promotion being back on Pick 3 evening drawings. See, if the green ball's drawn, that's a free second chance to win? So, yeah, you get it. It's only through February 1st, though, so try me after then?
Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. For game odds and promotion details, visit njlottery.com/pick3.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder. Now just $189. Built for strength, flexibility, and job site versatility. Pros, these savings will only be here for a limited time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/30. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Welcome back to Yeah, That's a Pepper Thing. First up, we've got Harrison wrapping his Dr. Pepper in a tiny quilt so it feels at home. Oh, how tender. That's a Pepper Thing. And over to Becca, who's whispering affirmations to her can.
You're sweet. You're unique. You're the best thing I ever poured over ice.
She swears it makes it taste better. It's not a science thing, but it's a Pepper Thing. Why do they all do it? All for that sweet, delicious, truly one-of-a-kind taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a Pepper Thing.
Hey, the Jets made a hire. They have a new defensive coordinator, Brian Duker, 36 years old, was Miami's pass game coordinator and secondary as well. He had 3 years that he worked with Aaron Glenn with the Lions on Glenn's defensive team. So Brian Duker never has called defensive plays. He's never been a coordinator. So I'm sure that Glenn's going to be very active in that. And I don't know who Brian Duker is. I'm not going to sit here and make it up. But I will tell you this. These are the type of hires you're going to make when everybody in the world knows the coach is on notice. Can't have a year like you had last year. You're going to be gone. So is there going to be any established coordinator that's going to come in and risk their reputation, have a job for a year? I don't think so. Now, in terms of coordinators, everything has gone smoothly, swimmingly for the Giants since hiring John Harbaugh. They've gotten everything they wanted. He's gotten everything he wanted. Well, finally, a speed bump. Todd Monken, who was going to be his offensive coordinator, most people felt, he got the job as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Now, he probably, decided, I'll take the job because, hey, we have a Pro Bowl quarterback in Cleveland. They don't have that in New York. Kidding. But now, it's going to be interesting to see the pivot that Harbaugh has. He was waiting on Monken. So who is going to be the offensive coordinator who's going to have a big say in the maturation of Jackson Dart? We shall see. So a couple of things happen on the football side in New York. 36-year-old defensive coordinator. And Todd Monken is not going to be the offensive coordinator. The Giants going to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Let's go to John in Mahwah. John.
Hey, Mike. Love the show. I'm as a huge Jet fan, big hater of Belichick.
Okay.
I can only think of one reason why he's not in. He absolutely 100% deserves to be in. But I think the same thing is happening now. Maybe that happened with Parcells because they're not really sure. It's not the cheating. It's none of that. I think maybe that people are not concerned. They think that he's probably going to come back one last time to try and beat Chula or just be a coach again. And then maybe that's why they didn't vote him, because he hasn't officially said, I'm done in the NFL.
Well, yeah, but as long as let's say that's the case. First of all, I'd like to hear it from the people that didn't vote for him. Second of all, let's say they voted him in and he becomes a head coach in the NFL again, which seems highly unlikely. It's not as if his bust in Canton is going to burst into flames or like the bus room in Canton becomes like not a museum and they all come alive. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? Tony La Russa was in, I believe, the Baseball Hall of Fame, and he ended up coming back and taking the White Sox job. Did anybody die? Those are not the rules that have to be interpreted by the voting block. He's eligible. He has not coached in X amount of years. He's on the ballot to be voted on. It's not for them to sit there and say, well, he might come back, so I don't want to give him the vote. So you're going to wait till he dies to know that for sure he's not going to come back? Again, let the 11 people that didn't vote for him say, I didn't vote for him because I don't think he's done yet. Again, it would be a moronic reason, but why? Why would you do that? And it's also funny when you talk to people that are on this secret Skull and Bones committee, they protect that right like grim death. And if you actually criticize it, they get really angry. I've seen it before. I love Gary Myers, but you could see some of the tones of his tweets about this. You know, why should it be public? Oh, so you can egg it. I mean, they get really angry. But if you take a step back and you're not one of the 50 exalted members that have been chosen by someone to be the voting block, if you take a step back and go, how ridiculous does this look? 50 secret members sit there. I don't know if they wear hoods. They have masks on. It's like eyes wide shut. And they have to make a presentation why Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. Yeah, I would stand up and go, he won 2 Super Bowls, 2 MVPs. Played 210 straight games. Yeah, there's my presentation. Thank you so much. I'll see you next Tuesday. Let's go to Juan in White Plains.
Michael, thank you for taking my call. Thank you. And first and foremost, Michael K., I respect you. I love you. You are the man. And your voice on the radio is angelic, okay? I just want to preface with that.
That's what I go for.
Yeah.
I go for the angelic sound. Yeah.
Angelic. I'm in a trance when I listen to you.
Oh, I'm in a trance when I speak. It's amazing. So we're in lockstep. But
I am absolutely floored, flabbergasted, and shocked at your Bill Belichick take today. I mean, you are big on integrity and following the rules. Mm-hmm. But you're being a little inconsistent today, okay? I'm not saying Bill Belichick doesn't deserve to be in the Hall. He absolutely does. But first ballot is reserved for people whose careers are clean. If the Hall lets Bill Belichick...
Who said that? It's not part of the vote. I've never seen that as the marching... Okay, so let me ask you this, Juan. Tom Brady shouldn't be in the first ballot?
Probably not, Michael. Just the same way Terrell Owens wasn't. Because if the Hall lets Bill Belichick and Tom Brady in right away, it basically says that cheating is fine if you win enough games. And that's a bad message. Furthermore, T.O. wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer for being a pain in the locker room, right? So he wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer. Bill Belichick shouldn't be either.
But we're writing rules as we go. Pain in the locker room is not one of the voting things. The guy played in a Super Bowl with a broken leg, and he had to wait 3 years to get in. Does that make sense?
I'm speechless, Michael.
Well, I'm sorry that you are. I appreciate your take. I appreciate you think that I have an angelic voice. All of that stuff. I do appreciate all of it, but if there was a rule that you had to be clean to get in on the first time, then we could talk. There's no such rule. You just made that rule up. This is a sport that does not even frown upon people taking illegal performance-enhancing drugs. There's not that same stain like it is in baseball. In baseball, it's like you violated the holy grail. In football, okay, yeah. Gee, I wonder why a 6'5", 390-pound guy could run a 5.0 40. I wonder. You think it's just normal? No. They probably have a little help, but they just turn away. Baseball, Clemens, probably the best right-handed pitcher in history, out. Bonds, maybe the best player in history, out. Alex Rodriguez, certainly one of the top 5 players who ever lived, out. That's a permanent scarlet letter. There are guys in the hall that did PEDs in the football hall. They're in, and it's out that they did it. They get what? A 4-game suspension, something like that. Every football player would love 4 games off out of 17. Kyle in New Jersey. Kyle.
Mike, how are you, Mike? This is Kyle from Jersey.
What's up, man?
First off, I'm going to say this. I'm 100% with you today. 100% with you.
Cool.
You know, just the point you just made. So if these people, and I'm going to call them cowards, because they're cowards, like you say, they're going to hide. They're cowards. Just so they're saying we can't. By the way, Belichick's the best coach to ever do it. He is flat out. He is. So, but they're going to say we can't vote for him because he quote unquote cheated to give him that advantage. Well, then how do you put Tom Brady in? Didn't it give him advantage? Didn't it give Ty Law an advantage? Seymour advantage? See, that's the problem. Like, I have nothing against it. If, like you said, they knew what he was doing. They never suspended this guy. So if all of a sudden now 11 people, writers and stuff, are going to say he's not good enough to do it, I'm with you. Let's see. If they're not cowards, then they shouldn't put Brady in. But Brady's going to be in because he should be in, but they're cowards. They won't do it. Thank you, Michael.
You got it. And the thing that bothers me the most is that no one has stepped forward to admit that they didn't vote for him. Not one. Explain it. Maybe there's a legitimate reason. Because if you keep the keeping him out for a year, right? It reeks of like kindergarten punishment. Go sit in the corner for a year, Bill. You were a bad boy. You stole signs. You didn't know that your quarterback was deflating footballs. You go sit in the corner, and after your timeout, you know what? Then we'll let you in. Now, Bill Belichick loves the history of the NFL. But if Bill Belichick really had some cubes, he steps forward today, has a press conference in North Carolina, and said the Hall of Fame could take this honor and shove it. If I'm not deserving of getting in on the first ballot, I don't want any part of this hellhole. Not one part of it. It's a disgrace. It's an embarrassment that I'm not in on the first ballot. I don't want to be in on any ballot. Then, if he removes himself like that, then that gets traction. Not because of some loudmouth radio host or newspaper columnist. If he said, I don't want to be in your silly little tainted club. I don't want it. I don't want anything to do with you. What a statement that would be. That would show me something. But I think this is something that he craves. I've always said that, you know, like people that get into the Hall of Fame after waiting for a long time and they're finally voted in when they're dead, their family should say, shove it. Shove it. If my dad or my husband could not enjoy it while he was alive, I don't need it. I don't want it. And it's happened. They wait and wait and wait, and then you're dead, and then they vote you in. I don't want it. Bill Belichick could say, I don't want to be part of your club. Your club is tainted, and if I don't belong in it, then no one belongs in it. But that would reek of egotism, but it would send a message. You don't think I'm good enough? You're not good enough to have me there. Take your Hall of Fame and stick it where the sun doesn't shine. But he won't do that because it means so much to him. Hey, it's the last call for football on FanDuel. One final Sunday, one last kickoff. The final chance to place your bets before the NFL season closes its tab. This is Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel is making sure you're in on it. If you're a new customer, bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. So whether you're backing the favorite, riding with the underdog, or building one last same-game parlay, well, make it count. Because after the Super Bowl, the season's over, and football is officially done. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. 21 plus and physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
Make cancer screening a part of your annual healthcare routine. New York Presbyterian offers a full range of cancer screenings, including lung, cervical, prostate, colorectal, breast, and more. Regular cancer screenings could save your life by detecting cancer at its earliest, most treatable stages. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester. Learn more at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-30 2.5S all-wheel drive for $189 for 33 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely, choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN SM844-681, MSRP $29,075. Zero security deposit, ends 2/2/26.
Who's ready to hit the ice? Get ready for another exciting hockey season with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. From same-game parlays to live bets, you can call your shot during any play. Rooting for your favorite players? You'll find all sorts of markets for betting on any star's performance on any given night. Don't miss any of the action on the ice by getting all your picks in with BetMGM. Ready to shoot your shot? Download the app today and make your bets. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards may vary and expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Looking for the best meat and seafood at unbeatable prices? Get to Wild Fork Foods. They offer the widest selection of meats and seafoods you'll find anywhere. Everything is blast frozen to lock in flavor and nutrients. From beef and poultry to seafood, pork, and even exotic and game meats, you'll get the best value for your buck. Visit one of their 7 locations across Long Island and New Jersey, or order online for same-day delivery at wildforkfoods.com. Wild Fork Foods, your neighborhood's meat and seafood market.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a time out to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of New Jersey is offering buy one, get one 50% off and every day 0% financing. Some restrictions may apply. See store for details. Offer ends January 31st, 2026.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
So it was the fourth quarter and we're down by 5. Sweat pouring down my face. Suddenly it hit me. If only I could wrap part of the towel around my forehead. And that's how I became the first basketball player to wear a headband.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Step inside the game you love with the NBA app. Tap to watch every game as it's happening.
Jalen Brunson does it again!
And never miss a moment of the jaw-dropping action. Get closer to the players than anywhere else. Follow the latest schedules, scores, and stats. Keep up with every story from across the league. And with NBA ID, it's all personalized to you. The game lives here. Download today.
So I forgot to tell the story earlier in the week, but the end of last week, went out with like 8 people from Yes one night. We had dinner in White Plains at a Morton's. Nice dinner. And we walk out about 10 o'clock to get our car, and there are other people waiting for their cars. And this guy comes up to me. I think he had a couple of drinks, but he was very nice. And he said, You're an actor. I know you're an actor. I said, No, I'm not an actor. And he goes, Well, yeah, you're somebody that's in movies. You're in movies. I said, I don't think that's where you know me. And he keeps going. And he turns away. And he goes, I got it. Now I know exactly who you are. So I'm having fun. I go, yeah, who am I? He goes, you're the guy who used to coach in the Big East. I said, I went from an actor to a coach in the Big East? He said, yeah. I said, what coach? He goes, you know who it is, Jim. I said, what? He goes, you're Jim Boeheim. I said, Jim Boeheim? Are you out of your mind? He goes, yeah, you're Jim. I said, no, I'm not. He goes, no, you are. I said, I don't look anything like Jim Boeheim. Whatever you had in the restaurant, I want some of it myself. He called me Jim Boeheim. Now, I like Jim Boeheim, but I don't think I look anything like Jim Boeheim. So what should my reaction have been? Then finally one of his friends said, I think that's the Yankee announcer. So he goes from, I think it's he says, I think it's Jim Boeheim. And he goes, I hope you don't take that the wrong way. I said, yeah, I don't take it great. I said, I don't think I look anything like Jim Boeheim. Anybody out there think I look like Jim Boeheim? I don't think so. So, listen, when you do a show like this, or you're in the media, you're going to have certain opinions, right? And there are going to be people that don't agree with your opinions. That's what makes the world go round. That's what makes these shows work. The one thing that you can always get from me is that an opinion I give is not manufactured to elicit a response. It's just not. It's actually what I really truly feel. That's why I don't think I'd be great on those hot take shows, because like if somebody on the panel agreed with what I said, I wouldn't be able to just cavalierly take the other side and say, this is what I believe. That's not me. I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror. Or maybe those people really do disagree with each other. They come up with topics where they disagree with each other. But when I tell you something, I believe it. So when you get that, you're going to get people that angrily disagree with you, either on social media or calling in. I prefer it would be calling in. But if you're a writer, you probably get the same thing. And Joel Sherman of the New York Post, who's a longtime friend, I mean, we've known each other, I'd say 40 years. He has finally had enough. And he even surprised me with the vitriolic nature of what he said. So I guess the Post has a sports podcast where, each writer comes on and gives his take of the event of the day or whatever. Listen to what Joel Sherman said about a certain segment of Yankee fans.
Most of the whiners are also people who were saying, well, they signed Grisham. That means that Hal's going to get cheap and not bring Bellinger back. Will any of those people shut the up now? They will not shut the up because they like that lane that's either stupid or they enjoy being stupid, because they get attention.
Wow. He didn't make any friends there, but I could definitely see the frustration you get, because especially for people that say their piece on social media, you're kind of locked in. Like I look at myself and people go, well, why do you answer, some of the social media stuff on the show? Because I can actually articulate it better rather than being a slave to 280 characters. So number one, if you go back at them on social media because you don't agree with what they're saying, then you're thin-skinned and, you're a baby There's part of me that actually thinks that KD, Kevin Durant, actually is brave. Well, why are you punching down? So that's a big thing. So anybody could punch at you, but if it's coming from down, you're not allowed to punch back. So you really can't answer them back on social media because it's kind of like, you got one hand tied behind your back. I guess Joel has heard enough because we had a lot of those calls. And everybody knows that listens to the show, I was not in favor of offering Grisham $22 million for the qualifying offer. And, there was that fear where House in a perfect world, he'd want to be under the $300 to $4 million payroll threshold, that $22 million could stop them from bidding and getting Bellinger, because Bellinger was going to make over $30 million a year, and that would take you past 304. But I was assured, and I came on the show, that it has nothing to do with it, and that the Yankees would gladly go over the 304 to get Bellinger. And right now, their payroll's at about 330, which is more than it was last year. But again, what Joel is saying, those people never say they're wrong. They just move on to something else. And the narrative about Hal being cheap continues to be out there. And again, I think it's people that want the attention, and I guess it's invigorating to get the attention of like-minded people who feel the same way without any basis in fact. Like, people say stuff on social media like they're so sure of it. Like my good friend, TMKS Burner, a guy named Bernie, who I don't allow to call in anymore, and he said that he's blocked on YouTube, which I never blocked him. But I said the thing about Soto the other day. Why would Soto bring that? And Bernie writes with assuredness, well, Judge and Soto are close friends. So and what I would say, I mean, I'm in the locker room. I don't know that Judge and Soto are close friends. I have no idea. How does Bernie know that Judge and Soto are close friends? I mean, Judge is the leader of the Yankees in that clubhouse. Do you think he was overjoyed that Soto decided to leave? So, I mean, you just put it out there. Well, they're really close friends. Do we really know that? I don't. And I have a much closer proximity to the situation than Bernie does. But Bernie writes it, and then other people jump on it and go, yeah, that's why I did it. And Net fans jump on it. You live rent-free in your head, blah, blah, blah. It just gets frustrating. And when it gets frustrating that people are talking out of their backside where they really don't have any kind of information, at least the information that a Joel Sherman has, and they're nasty about it, it leads to Joel saying what he said. Now, Joel, in real life, he talks like that. I was surprised that he went there with the F-bombs and all that. And I don't know if he made many friends with that, but it's kind of invigorating to be able to say what you feel, to really say what you feel. And he felt that. And he has zero bleeps left to give. When we come back, Knicks win the game last night. Should they celebrate? And there's a real litmus test tonight. Mike Lupica at 2:30 as well. The K-Show rolls on right here on ESPN New York.
The post-crib assembly press conference, brought to you by Progressive.
Michael, you had some trouble putting the crib together today. What went wrong?
Those instructions can be tough, and, you saw the outcome.
Here, just get one punch. Were you upset when your wife pulled you and called in the backup?
No, the baby needs a crib to sleep in, so whatever it takes.
You've got a changing table to put together next. It's got a lot of drawers. What's your comment?
You know what? We're done here.
Like it or not, sometimes you need a backup. That's why there's Progressive to protect your home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Brian's headed to the basketball court, but he's sick of this check engine light. So he goes to AutoZone for the free Fix Finder service.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
Where a friendly AutoZoner reads the light in just a few minutes and gives him a detailed report.
No big, just a loose gas cap.
And gets him to the court with a tight gas cap and tighter defense. The free Fix Finder service at AutoZone. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson for three.
And this is your home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets, so go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your knowledge to work on the events that matter to you. Prediction Markets isn't just sports. It's the Fed rate decision, your favorite awards show, and so much more beyond the playing field. Trade events with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
All the way over Barzell, score! New York Islanders hockey is back at UBS Arena, and it's time to bring the family and make some noise. With more afternoon games this season, the Islanders have special kids-themed games and activities for young fans. Play games pregame at the park and head inside for fun on the concourse and on the ice. Tickets for the 2025-26 season are on sale now. Get your tickets at NewYorkIslanders.com.
Welcome back to Yeah, That's a Pepper Thing. First up, we've got Harrison wrapping his Dr. Pepper in a tiny quilt so it feels at home. Oh, how tender. That's a Pepper Thing. And over to Becca, who's whispering affirmations to her can.
You're sweet. You're unique. You're the best thing I ever poured over ice.
She swears it makes it taste better. It's not a science thing, but it's a Pepper Thing. Why do they all do it? All for that sweet, delicious, truly one-of-a-kind taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a Pepper Thing.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder, now just $189. Built for strength, flexibility, and job site versatility. Pros, these savings will only be here for a limited time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/30. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
All right, so the Knicks have won 3 in a row. The first game was the blowout of the Nets, which was an utter embarrassment. The Nets were so bad. Just dreadful. So you got that. Then they beat the Sixers in a game that they tried to give away, and the refs didn't help. Just an awful officiated game. And yesterday, they end up beating the Kings at the Garden 103-87. I will not celebrate. If you watch that game, you shouldn't celebrate either. It was 72-72 against a Kings team that is awful and a Kings team that the Knicks lost to in Sacramento. Kings are just dreadful, absolutely dreadful. The Knicks turned the ball over constantly. 21 turnovers, leading to 20 points for the Kings. OG Anunoby had 7 turnovers, 3 straight at the end of the third quarter. 3 straight turnovers. Cat ended the game for the final almost 7 minutes on the bench as Mike Brown went with Mitchell Robinson. Nothing about that game is celebratory. The Knicks pulled away at the end, and if you watch the game, the reason the Kings were not able to keep pace with the Knicks at the end, they couldn't hit three-point shots. Wide open three-point shots. Not well-defended three-point shots, wide open. But a win is a win, and you take it. But how about tonight? The second game of a back-to-back. The Knicks are playing the Raptors, who they're tied with for the third spot in the East right now. The Raptors took advantage while the Knicks were on that skid, picked up a lot of games. So they'll play tonight in Toronto. And here's the problem. The Knicks game ended yesterday at about 10 o'clock. It takes about an hour and a half to leave the arena, get on the bus to go to the airport. And then you're talking 11:30. Then they load the stuff on the plane. You get on the plane. They probably took off at 12:30. It takes, from takeoff to landing, about an hour. It's a much shorter flight than an hour in the air, but it's about an hour. So they probably start getting off the plane at about 1:30 in Toronto. Then you got to get through customs. Then you got a bus, because in Toronto, the airport is a long, long way away from downtown Toronto. About a 45-minute drive. Even if they land at the one closer to the city, still a long way. So my best guess is that they got into their hotels this morning about 3 in the morning. And they're going to play the second game of back-to-back. So the schedule maker didn't do them any favors. Also, second game of a back-to-back, Mitchell Robinson in all likelihood not playing. And he was the reason they ended up winning yesterday. They're always plus 20, plus 25 when he's on the court. It's unbelievable. He doesn't play that much in terms of minutes. He doesn't score that much. But just his presence defensively changes the entire vibe. That's why they sit down a guy like Cat and they play Mitchell Robinson. I'd be shocked he has not played a back-to-back all year. And they wanted to win that game against the Kings. They could have sat him yesterday and had him play today. But I think the Knicks look at it today and they probably go, we're not winning this game. Again, we'll see if Robinson does play. Maybe Ray could find this out. I wonder what the spread is tonight. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, again, I want to see what the number is. I would take the Raptors in this game. But if the Knicks can win this game, then they're starting to turn the corner. But I don't think they're going to win this game. So this is a close one to watch. Again, you don't celebrate yesterday's game. That was nothing to celebrate. They squeaked by. The final score doesn't look like that it was close. It was close. It was a nail biter. It should not be. The Kings are awful. The Knicks still have some things to work out. So McBride played the final 6 minutes. Robinson played the final 6 minutes. So Hart was on the bench, and Cat was on the bench. And I've said this before, unless they make a deal, you have got to. Toronto is a 1.5-point favorite. I almost think that's a gimme. I mean, I'm not telling you to bet. I'm not. That's personal choice. I would never urge anybody to bet anything like that. 1.5 points. I don't see the Knicks winning this game. We'll see. I'll come on tomorrow and say, wow, was I wrong? But this is a real test. Without Mitchell Robinson, back-to-back, second game, getting into the hotel about 3 in the morning, we'll see. If you don't make a trade, if you're the Knicks and you don't make a trade, right? You got to straighten Cat out. And I know you got to win games as you're straightening him out, but you got to find a system where he's going to be able to be the second-team All-NBA player that he was last year and has been for most of his career. You can't let him die on the vine. He's too important. Now, in terms of trades, it's finally come out, Shams Charania of ESPN reporting that Giannis has said he's ready for a new home. Hasn't publicly come out and said it, but it looks like that request has been made to Bucks management. So there's a good chance he's going to be moved before the February 5th trade deadline. And Shams is reporting that the franchise, the Bucks, are starting to listen to offers. I will tell you this. If you're the Bucks, you want to do right by Giannis because he's been so important to the franchise. You want to do right by him. But you also have to do right to your franchise. So everything that we hear, he wants to play for the Knicks. But the Knicks don't have the package that a return for Giannis would dictate. We had on Stefan Bondi yesterday from the Daily News, from the New York Post, and he said the Bucks don't want back Cat, but Cat's got to be moved in order to clear the payroll space under the cap. So you're going to have to make this convoluted deal, but are you going to get the package that you could get from Houston, from Miami? If Oklahoma City wants to get involved, remember they own a draft pick that could be in the top 3 in what's going to be a really deep draft. If I'm the Bucks and I want to see the Knicks get him, I am worried about the calf injuries, because they usually are a precursor to Achilles problems. And then you'd lose them for the year, and then this year would be shot. If I'm the Bucks, I'm going to say, okay, you don't want to be here, and we'll do our best to trade you, but we're going to take the best offer possible. Yeah, we want to do right by you, but New York is not going to be able to put together the package that other teams can. We're just not going to take pennies on the dollar to make you happy. We've got to be concerned about our franchise as well. I'm a fan of Leon Rose. They made very few mistakes. I think they mishandled the Donovan Mitchell situation. They misread it. They got bad information, and they allowed themselves to be outbid by Cleveland. So that was a miss. Signing Abaselli ends up being a miss. He has not been good for them at all. 2-year contract. They're presently trying to trade him. If Leon Rose could somehow pull off a deal that could satisfy Milwaukee and get Giannis, I would be overwhelmed that he's able to do it. He's really smart. He knows the inner workings of the NBA. He knows what levers to pull. But does he have enough in a 3-way trade where Cat goes somewhere to bring in enough draft capital to satisfy the Milwaukee Bucks? Again, if the Bucks just trade Giannis to the Knicks because he wants to go and they take a substandard package, shame on them. They deserve to wallow in mediocrity for the next 5 years. They've got to get the best package possible for a guy who's arguably the second best player in the league. Anybody who gets him, though, has to be really, really concerned about the calf injuries. 1-800-919-3776. That's the number. Let's go to Al in the Bronx. Al.
Hey, man, what's going on? Love you listening to your show.
Thanks, man. What's up?
I think when you look at the Knicks, look horrible. I was on the bandwagon. Maybe Mike Brown could do something, but at the end of the day, they fired Tibbs too soon, a year too soon. And that knee-jerk reaction is showing it. These guys they were a great defensive squad last year. They can't stop a nosebleed, bro. I was watching that. You're right. Yeah, they won that Sacramento game, but they deserve to lose that. It made me sick. I still watching it last night. It was disgusting. And I've been a Knicks fan all my life. My grandmother did this to me. So I don't know what to do. I mean, would Giannis even work for us? With our luck, we get him. He tears his Achilles. Knock on wood. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But, I'd rather just keep the squad that we got and figure out something on defense. Because that's what it is.
The tough problem, it's a tough calculus, Al, is two of their best players, their best offensive players, don't play good defense. So if you're going to have them both on the floor at the same time, it becomes very difficult to cover for two. It's really heavy lifting for Hart and for Bridges and for OG to cover for Brunson and Cat. It is. But if you ask me, in a perfect world, Michael, what would you do? I would not make a trade for Giannis now. I'd make a trade during the offseason. I want to see this play out. Because if Giannis comes here and is not able to play or tears his Achilles, you threw away the season. This is the year, with the way the Eastern Conference is, that the Knicks have a legitimate chance with this team, if they could straighten things out, to go to the finals. Now, if Giannis is going to be traded before February 5th, then I guess you have to get involved because you want him. But I don't think that that's the perfect route to win the title this year. You're going to have to acclimate him to this new team, a new system, new players, And you're going to have to make that work in a very short period of time, essentially 2.5 months. I don't know if that's the most opportune time to make the deal. But if he's going to be dealt, then you do have to get involved. But in a perfect world, I'd make my run at him during the offseason. Let's go to Joe in Caldwell. Joe.
Hi, Michael.
Hey, Joe.
I was wondering your thoughts on this. Although this may go against the organization's offensive philosophy, do you think the Yankees would be better positioned, especially in the postseason, if they added a contact bat, ideally a righty bat, maybe towards the end of the lineup to set the table for those big bats up front?
Well, I don't think Joe, they'd be adverse to having a contact bat. But a lot of fans think, well, wouldn't it be nice? You said right-hander, but let's say Luis Ariz, who could hit 320, 330. They want somebody that's going to do damage with their batting average. That's what they want. Now, on the hot stove yesterday, we put out our lineup, Jack Curry and I. And, I was very forthright. The Yankees are still very left-handed. So that's a flaw in the team. In a perfect world, they acquire a right-handed bat that could play infield and outfield. Now, you could say, well, maybe that bat is Caballero. Maybe that bat is Rosario. I think they need a little bit higher than that. A little higher than that. Is that player available for them? They were sniffing around Bader, but he ended up signing a really nice deal with San Francisco. It's a lefty-laden lineup. And you could say, if you're defending it, if you're the Yankees, which I'm sure they would, yeah, our lefties, though, have the fourth highest OPS of lefty batters against lefty pitchers. So they're lefties, especially Bellinger. They hit left-handed pitchers very well. But against left-handed pitching, you are going to somewhat neutralize lefty batters, even if they're good against lefties. And that puts a lot of pressure on Giancarlo to play a lot, on Caballero, and then Volpe playing shortstop. I mean, their whole outfield is left-handed. And then you've got 3 left-handers in the infield, in Chisholm and Rice and McMahon. Your catcher is left-handed. There aren't a lot of righty solutions for them. There just aren't. So Jack said it on the air yesterday that, they have some interest in bringing back Goldschmidt, because Goldschmidt is death to lefties, death. But he made $12.5 million last year. The Yankees aren't going to pay that for him because he's not going to be the starting first baseman. He's not going to be a strict platoon with Rice, but be a nice guy up the bench to pinch hit, nice guy to spell Rice against some tough left-handers. But is Goldschmidt, a proud veteran, willing to take a contract that, probably you pay him $2 million? Would he take that drop from 2.5? He wants to play, but what team out there is going to give him a contract, let's say, for $10 million? I don't know. But, listening to Jack yesterday on the air, sounds like they're happy with their pitching staff. They're not in on any of the free agent pitchers. No Scherzer, no Verlander, no Valdez, no any of those, Chris Bassett, and they feel very comfortable with their bullpen as well. So the heavy lifting might be done if something falls into their lap in terms of a right-handed outfielder. Yeah, it'd be perfect if Dominguez actually was a strong right-handed hitter, but he's a switcher who hits better from the left side, and that complicates things. Let's go to Mike in Brooklyn. Mike.
Hey, how you doing, man? I'm a big fan of the show. I always get up on this, and I love it. I love your show.
Man. Thank you.
Now, my question to you is this. It's not the first time that we say, first off, Bill Belichick is a Hall of Famer, first and foremost. Let's just say that.
We're in agreement.
Okay, but you know what? Trying to get there is a popularity contest. You know what? He was very short on his interviews, and he was always the smartest man in the room, and I could see how some writers might hit back and say, hey, you're not going to be a first-time Hall of Famer. You're not. Mm-hmm. Just because of how you treated me. Same as Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds, is he a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, but he's out because of the PDs.
But that doesn't matter. He brought back baseball.
Steve Carlton Mike, Steve Carlton never spoke to the media. He got on the first ballot. So what I said earlier, and I really truly believe, your talent should supersede if you're a jerk. So
it should.
It should. I mean, but Bill Belichick is such a great coach. The fact that he was a jerk to the media, and it's not all media of the 50 people, Mike. I mean, like Bill Polian, I mean, he's not media. I mean, there are people from all walks of life in the NFL, but they want to keep him out. I'm sure he didn't treat people in the NFL well either.
I mean,
but
he could be a great
six Super Bowl
person.
titles win?
Super Bowl, doesn't say. He's a Hall of Famer, point blank. That's it. He's a Hall of Famer. But at the end of the day, it's a popularity contest too. You know?
But yeah, I get what you're saying, but that's not necessarily the right thing. I mean, there are a lot of people that are just jerks and were jerks to the media in the Hall of Fame, but their talent supersedes the fact that they were jerks. Now, there's a guy who I know for a fact hates my guts, and I think that he's been over the top on social media and stuff like that, but why isn't Curt Schilling in the Hall of Fame? Now, I know a lot of writers lean on the fact there's a clause in the voting instructions about character and stuff like that, and they don't like Curt Schilling's character. Curt Schilling's a Hall of Famer. So I think he's one guy that was kept out because people didn't like the cut of his jib. But if I had a vote, I'd vote for Curt Schilling. I mean, just take a look at the guy's numbers in postseason play. And, we've butted heads. He used to be a guest on our show all the time. But then, he said some things on social media and leaned some certain ways that probably rubbed people the wrong way. Okay, doesn't take away the fact that he was a great pitcher. Again, there are a lot of people in the Hall of Fame that are awful people. Awful. Not the Hall of Fame for good people. If there was a Hall of Fame for good people, I'd be in that. It's a Hall of Fame for greatness. Were you great at what you did? There's nobody that's ever led a team in college sports, in any sport, that's better than Bill Belichick. But somehow, some way, 11 people, at least 11 people, decided he was not worthy of getting into the Hall on the first ballot. And there are people that they certainly do have their, peccadillos held against them. Charles Haley, 6 Super Bowls kept out of the Hall of Fame. As good as Charles Haley was, and you hear stories about him, and if you watch the Cowboy documentary, Charles Haley was a little bit off. Some of his own teammates didn't like him; they were afraid of him. But you look at his production, right? But then there are some people that were great people. Actually, Haley won 5 championships. There were great people that you can make the argument that they're Hall of Famers. Tom Coughlin, charitable, good man, great husband, great dad, great grandfather. He's not in. Who's better with the media than Eli Manning? Maybe you can say borderline, you look at his record, but the 2 Super Bowl MVPs probably should get him in a walk. He already missed. Is he going to get in this year? To me, Robert Kraft, if you're going to let owners in, right? How's Robert Kraft not in? How? 12 years they've kept him out, and Jerry Jones got in. So there's always little backstories. I get it. I understand there are always little backstories. But in this case, there's no backstory. I don't care. I don't care about Deflategate. I don't care about Spygate. Jimmy Johnson just came in. He was quoted just now saying he also illegally spied on people when he's the head coach of the Cowboys. And he's in the Hall of Fame because of his Cowboy years, not because of his Dolphin years. And he admitted that he did it. Now, he wasn't caught and they weren't disciplined, but he's saying, I guess that everybody does it. So these people are holding Bill Belichick out as an example. It's such an awful stink and stench to the whole thing, the whole skull and bones proceedings. It's awful. It's such a bad look for the Hall of Fame. And by the way, let me tell you a secret. I've been to the Football Hall of Fame. Compared to the Baseball Hall of Fame, it's a dump. It's a dump. I mean, the bust room is nice and all that. The the souvenir shop, nothing like the baseball. I mean, Baseball Hall of Fame is like you're in Shangri-La. Canton is like it's a dump. But it is the ultimate place where you become part of forever. I don't care if it's a dump. He belongs in that dump. If he's not in the dump, then no coach should be in that dump. We'll get Mike Lupica's take when we get back as we continue on the fastest 2 hours in sports talk right here on ESPN New York.
From 30 for 30 Podcasts.
Did you say someone got shot? Brian Pata, senior defensive lineman from Miami, gunned down.
The key to this case, it's Brian.
An hour before he died, he was on the phone arguing with somebody.
This might be a hit.
You want the truth. They just want a conviction.
Being placed under arrest.
We had a killer amongst us.
Murder at the U, coming soon.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
More people trust their hearts to New York Presbyterian than any other hospital in New York. It's because New York Presbyterian has the most experienced cardiovascular doctors, treating a full range of heart conditions, from heart failure to valve repair, with the most advanced treatments. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital, based on U.S. News & World Report 2025 to 2026 cardiology, heart, and vascular surgery rankings.
Not all F words are bad. Some are actually great, like fast, free fiber for 4 months. Yep, switch to Optimum Fiber for as low as $25 a month. Plus, for a limited time, you can get 4 months free, HBO Max included for 1 year, and a 5-year price lock. Don't wait, this free fiber deal won't last long, and the fastest, most reliable, most consistent internet speeds await you. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit optimum.com/free today. Terms apply. See optimum.com for details.
It's the last call for football on FanDuel. One final Sunday, one last kickoff. The final chance to place your bets before the NFL season closes its tab. This is Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel is making sure you're in on it. If you're a new customer, bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. So whether you're backing the favorite, riding with the underdog, or building one last same-game parlay, make it count. Because after the Super Bowl, the season's over. And football is officially done. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. 21 plus and physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-50 2.5S Select with all-wheel drive for $179 for 33 months. Or buy with 0.9% APR financing for 72 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely, choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN SN379853, MSRP $33,425. Zero security deposit, APR $14.27 per month for $1,000 finance, ends 2/2/26.
When it comes to meat and seafood, selection matters, and no one beats Wild Fork Foods. To everyday essentials, to high-quality steaks, to seafood and more, every product is blast frozen to lock in peak flavor and freshness, so you get restaurant-quality meats at home for amazing prices. Shop in person at 7 locations across Long Island and New Jersey, or you can order online for same-day delivery. It's easy, it's convenient, and the prices are wild. WildForkFoods.com.
Rich Eisen here. As you all know, I care deeply about pediatric cancer research and awareness. That's why I'm proud to talk about Hyundai Hope on Wheels. For over 27 years, every Hyundai sold has helped fund life-saving pediatric cancer research. Together with over 850 dealers nationwide, they've raised more than $277 million, supporting over 25,000 kids in their fight against cancer. At Hyundai, hope isn't optional. It comes standard. Visit HyundaiUSA.com and search Hyundai Hope on Wheels to learn more.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Welcome back to the show. Wednesday, 2:30. That means we get a chance to talk to the brilliant columnist for the New York Daily News, Mike Lupica, best-selling author as well. You could read him on MLB.com, and he joins us now. Hello, Mike.
Good afternoon, Michael. How are you today?
I'm doing great. What's your take on the Belichick situation?
He ought to be a first-ballot Hall of Famer. I think, people have a lot of issues, Michael, as you know, with the Baseball Writers Association of America. But a handful of them can't get together and form a block that keeps a worthy guy out of the Hall of Fame. And that's clearly what happened here. He needed 40 out of 50 votes. And so there were enough guys in that room who weren't willing to vote for a guy who coached in 9 Super Bowls as a head coach and 2 others as a defensive assistant to Parcells, and won 6 of those Super Bowls as a head coach and 2 others working for Parcells. When Patrick Mahomes calls you out on something related to Bill Belichick, you know that somebody screwed up here. I'm not saying that the way we do it in baseball is flawless, but there's way too many voters for this to happen. And it's not like I can get on the phone and call somebody and say, hey, you can't vote for Chase Utley or whomever, okay? But that's clearly what happened here. And by the way, I don't know what Bill Polian is talking about when he says I voted for him, and then later says I can't remember whether I voted for him. I know he's 83 years old, but it's like he was saying, I was for the war until I was against it. I think Polian might have been the ringleader here, and he ought to own up to it.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. And people saying, well, what do Gary Myers, who has a show on Saturday on our station, said, well, why does it have to be public so you could egg their house? No. First of all, this is entertainment, and why not be public and explain? Let the 11 people explain why you didn't vote for Bill Belichick. There has to be an explanation. That's why I've always said, Mike, the one clown that didn't vote for Derek Jeter hides in the cloak of anonymity because he's a gutless puke. Why can't he explain, I didn't vote for Derek Jeter because why? And these 11 people should have to explain themselves.
And we've all heard the stories over the years about the lobbying that goes on with the with the voters, some of them from this profession, and it was like, okay, I'll give you Eddie DeBartolo this year, but you got to give me, this guy down the road.
Yeah,
that's not how it's supposed to work. This is the most egregious example, and yeah, you can mark them up for Spygate, and you can mark them up for Deflategate, and you can make a case, Michael, that being a member of the Astros during the sign stealing probably delayed Carlos Beltran's being elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. I get all that, okay, but this is. If he's not the greatest coach in pro football history, he's certainly in the conversation with Lombardi and a couple of other guys. And I think, I saw him quoted as saying, 9 Super Bowls wasn't enough? It is, they look bad, okay? They look bad. And I don't know how you fix this, but the idea that this small a number, it's like, Michael, the Golden Globes can sometimes set the tone for the award season in Hollywood. It used to be in the old days, there were like 70 or 80 or 100 voters in the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. And I'm thinking, what, that those yayas are setting the agenda for the award season? But they kind of do. And whoever these guys are who didn't vote for Belichick look like yayas.
Here's what I've never understood, and maybe you know from the people you've spoken to. The whole Hall of Fame in the NFL has a skull and bones feel to it. Who are these 50 people? Why are they chosen? Why do you have to stand up and make a presentation on Eli Manning? Isn't his career the presentation? I don't understand the workings of this. It has such a dark, hooded feel to it. I've never approved of it, and now they come off looking awful. What a stink to the entire proceedings.
It looks like one of those, those old-fashioned spooky star chambers, where they wear hoods and robes and go into dark robes and go into a room and come out with Hall of Fame members. Again, it can't happen that way in baseball. It simply can't. Now, there's, obviously there's a whole majority of voters in baseball who don't want to vote steroid guys in, okay? But it's not like they're getting together and saying, okay, well, we can't let this happen. So how are you voting? Because this is how I'm going. No, I don't call a single other voter and ask them what they're doing. It's the one thing I vote on in right now in my career. It's the one thing I voted on for a long time is the Baseball Hall of Fame. And once I get that ballot, I never send it right back in. I don't do it quickly. I go back and look at numbers. And sometimes I'll say, you know what? I didn't vote for this guy last year. I'm going to vote for him this year. Mike, I think I've told you, and we may have discussed this. I don't know if we did or not. I came around on Andy Pettit. I couldn't come up with a compelling enough reason not to vote for a guy who I think is worthy of the Hall of Fame. So he's on my ballot now. And I don't know if he's ever going to get in, but it can be a fluid situation. But it can't be a situation like this where, Michael, this looks so entirely agenda-driven by people who hate Bill Belichick.
Now, I don't know if you would agree with me. Sometimes we come on different sides of this. The whole NFL voting process has kind of an eyes wide shut thing to it, but without the sex. I'm assuming without the sex. It doesn't seem right. I picture them all wearing masks and stuff like that. And as you said, robes and hoods and making presentations. I feel dirty. I feel like showering with Brillo right now.
Won't that hurt? That'll hurt.
Yes, in some areas. Yeah.
No. Yeah, especially on that handsome face of yours, Michael. Sure. Yeah. No, Mike, they ought to all be embarrassed. And you know what? Sure, they can be protected by anonymity, but somebody ought to step forward and say, here's what happened, okay? Here's why the guys who voted against him voted against him. And if it's true, even though he denies it, that Polian said, well, we ought to make him wait a year. That's just crap. That's just total crap.
Doesn't that give you the feel of like, well, you've been a bad boy, go sit in the corner for a year. Who are you to decide that? And are you going to do the same thing to Tom Brady? Because he was kind of involved with it, Mike.
He was more involved apparently in Deflategate than his coach was. So yeah, Mike, it's like in the old days when you go back and look at some of the baseball votes where they've, some guys on their first ballot got like, greatest players of all time got like 53% of the vote, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. No, this is an embarrassing day for the pro football writers. It is, and it's simply something that cannot be remedied. I mean, listen. To my mind, Eli Manning was the first ballot Hall of Famer. And I think Gary Myers is one of the people who has passionately advocated for Eli. Is probably doing it again this year. But the only quarterback who's got 2 Super Bowls who's not in the Hall of Fame is Jim Plunkett. And Eli not only got 2 Super Bowls, but he arguably won one of the most famous games in the history of the sport the first time they beat the Patriots. And again, I understand all of the problems that people have with Bill. I mean, I have known Bill since he was Bill Parcells' top sergeant. I have had some of the best conversations about the sport of football with him that I've ever had with anybody. Before Peyton played in the Super Bowl in Jersey, before he got rolled the way he did by the Seahawks, I called up Bill and I said, listen, everybody always used to talk about the rivalry between Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. I said, no, the rivalry was between you and Peyton Manning because you had to defend him. And Mike, he went on for about 40 minutes, and it was like seeing him in front of a chalkboard. He broke it down, all the things that Eli did. He'd see him one cadence one week, one cadence the next. It was fascinating. This guy has been a baller his whole life. I'm sorry that he is embarrassing himself the way he is so far in North Carolina. But if he's not a first ballot Hall of Fame football coach, then nobody is.
He loves football so much, and your story about sitting there 40 minutes, and when he was on TV with Rich Eisen with 100 greatest NFL players, you could see how he adores the sport and he reveres it. But I said this earlier in the show, I don't think it would ever happen. He should come out and say, I don't want to ever be in the Hall of Fame. If I'm not good enough with 6 Super Bowls to be in, don't ever vote for me again. You've embarrassed yourself. But I don't think he'll do it. But that would be the ultimate answer.
I don't want him to do that, Mike, but I'm telling you, and I'm not saying he's a friend of mine. He's not a friend of mine. I don't know him nearly as well as I know Bill Parcells. But this hardo, Bill Belichick, one year did something that very few football coaches know. He's the only one who ever did it. When he and Parcells were with the Jets, and the Jets had that year where they came within a half of going to the Super Bowl with Vinny Testaverde was their quarterback. I wrote a column saying that as great as Vinny had been, the real MVP of the season was Bill Belichick and his defense. And I'm at home on Christmas Eve, and the phone rings. It's Belichick. He goes, I just want to thank you for that call. I said, well, you don't have to do that. And I put down the phone, and Taylor, my wife, said, who was that? I said, I think it was Bill Belichick.
You know what? It hurts me. Sometimes when I listen to you talk, I learn so many things. I always pictured you and Taylor and Bill and Jordan hanging out, maybe going to an Applebee's, but you say you're not that close with them.
Applebee's? Really? Hey, you know what I'm going to do when I finish with you? I'm going to go downstairs and I say, hey, honey, you know where Mike thinks I take you out to dinner? Applebee's. Yeah. Well, nothing against Applebee's, by the way. Nothing against Applebee's.
But it's just that Jordan's so young. Younger people like to go to Applebee's. I thought you'd give that as a concession.
Are you suggesting that Taylor is so much younger? Are you comparing the former Taylor McKelvey to Jordan Hudson? Are you, Mike?
No. Please don't try to start trouble.
If I were you, I'd stop digging right now because the only representation of this phone call that my wife is going to get
is going to be from you.
It's going to be from me, Michael.
Yeah. It's like the skull and bones all together again. One quick thing. The Knicks win yesterday. I don't take anything from that game. They looked awful. If you're the Knicks, do you move heaven and earth to get Antetokounmpo?
I think that there's going to be some momentum to do that, Michael, because you can see it. We have been talking about this for a couple of weeks. I said this to you before. They are clearly looking to blame somebody because they always have to blame somebody to this point where they're not the team that they expected to be, and the team they expect to be is go to the finals. Okay. They're blaming Karl-Anthony Towns. You see it all the time. The drum beat is growing louder and louder. And here's my question about Karl-Anthony Towns. Somebody knew how to coach him up, didn't they, Michael? Because somebody coached him up to the point where he was third-team All-NBA last year, and the team on which he was the center made it to the Eastern Conference Final. So I'll ask you this again. Is he the problem, or is it this system that we've heard so much about?
Yeah, and they're backing off the system, too. They're trying to go back to what Thibodeau did, and my reply would be, well, Thibodeau did it better. It's his system because they're not running the way Mike Brown promised they would. The pace is not fast like Mike Brown promised, and that fast pace attempting to install it, I think it's completely destroyed Karl-Anthony Towns' whole game. It really has. He has not been able to get back.
Mike, I wrote this a couple of weeks ago, and I'll say it to you again. I will believe that he's still a Knick after the trade deadline when he's still a Knick after the trade deadline.
Yeah, for sure. Well, tell Taylor I love her, and thank you for coming on, Mike.
I'm going to call Jody right now. I'm calling Jody right now.
Okay, you do that. Goodbye.
Okay, goodbye.
That's Mike Lupica. So a lot of stuff we've talked about today. I want to hear from you. All right, so we're going to finish the show with your phone calls, 1-800-919-3776. I'll repeat it again, 1-800-919-3776. Let's talk when we get back right here on the K Show, leading into Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg on ESPN New York.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Hey, sorry I missed you. Your call is very important to me. Just not as important as the New Jersey Lottery's Green Ball promotion being back on Pick 3 evening drawings. See, if the green ball's drawn, that's a free second chance to win? So, yeah, you get it. It's only through February 1st, though, so try me after then?
Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. For game odds and promotion details, visit njlottery.com/pick3.
To the net. Score! The New York Islanders are back in action with a brand new theme night schedule you won't want to miss. Bring your friends out for the holidays and take home a custom holiday replica jersey or arrive early for special bobblehead giveaway nights for Matt Barzell and Bo Horvat. Barzell for Horvat. Score! Explore the full theme night schedule at NewYorkIslanders.com.
This is Rick Brunson, the assistant coach from the New York Knicks. I'll be driving to our games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing. Just mention I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory and great deals on new vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Rick Brunson sent you.
You remember what it feels like to move without thinking about pain? To get up, sit up, walk, work, or live without that constant ache? If neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica took that away from you, it's time to get it back. I'm Bart Scott. Dr. J. Shaw at Sandwell Pain is the guy you need. Ivy League trained, double board certified, no surgery, no scars, no long recovery, just precise, image-guided, non-surgical treatments designed to get you feeling strong again. With offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, and most major insurances are accepted, there is no reason to wait. Go to SandwellPain.com. Relief is closer than you think.
Smalls here. Life is full of choices, some big, some small. And when you choose an H&R Block Tax Pro, you're choosing the largest network of tax expertise to be in your corner. For when your big ambitions need help with the small details. For when your six figures come from 6 different places. For when your gaming stream becomes your revenue stream. For when your business's year 1 needs 70 years of tax know-how. At H&R Block, they've seen it all. And they're here to help you make the most out of your money for life outside the box.
Empower. After wanting one for years, Kevin is finally enjoying his new hot tub.
This is the life.
He worked with Empower to help him get good at money, so now he can be a little bad.
Oh, no, not my phone.
Oh, Kevin. Kevin's phone may be in hot water, but his finances aren't. Invest well, live a little. Start today at Empower.com.
NBA fans don't just watch the game, they live it. So stream like you're courtside with NBA League Pass, your ticket to all the action. Watch your favorite team shine and catch the league's brightest stars and rising stars at the same time with multi-view on your favorite devices. From the plays you can't believe to the most live games and the drama that comes with it. If it happens on the court, it's happening on NBA League Pass.
Only select out-of-market games available. Blackout restrictions apply. Additional charges and other conditions may apply. Visit NBA.com/subscriber agreement for full terms and conditions.
All right, so we've been talking about Bill Belichick not making it. Ian O'Connor of The Athletic reporting, according to sources, Eli Manning also did not make the Hall of Fame this year. He did not make the cut after being one of the 15 modern-era finalists for the second consecutive year. So let's check out Eli's stats. One of 6 players with multiple Super Bowl MVPs. The 3 Hall of Fame eligible players from that group, Montana, Bradshaw, and Bart Starr, all first-ballot inductees. The other 2 players in that rarefied class, according to Ian, Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, they should be unanimous. Manning ranks 11th in career passing yards, 11th in career passing touchdowns. Spent his entire 16-year career with the Giants, started 210 straight games, third longest streak ever among quarterbacks. Finished his career with a 500 record as a starter and led the NFL in interceptions 3 times. But we love Joe Namath. Joe Namath is in, right? Joe Namath is in. Threw more interceptions than TDs. Overall record, not great, has that 1 Super Bowl. And as Mike Lupica just said, Eli Manning won one of the most improbable Super Bowls of all time, when he beat the Patriots and stopped them from getting the undefeated season. Wouldn't it be poetic if Eli gets in next year and Belichick gets in next year? So they go in together. Belichick's tormentor goes in alongside Belichick. And Ian O'Connor also came out and said he almost guarantees that next year Belichick will be 50 for 50 because of the fallout this year. But why make the guy wait a year? As I said, the only way this works is that they keep him out forever. You don't like the fact that he cheated? Then keep him out forever. Don't put him in a corner for a year. Who are you? The guy's the greatest football coach of all time, and you're going to keep him out. I know the coaches are coming forward and saying, we all did it. Amazing. Amazing. Martin in Connecticut. Martin.
Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
I'm sorry. I apologize. So anyway, I respectfully disagree with you. Granted, I'm a Rams fan, but I mean, he kind of deprived Mike Martz of a great career. He certainly wouldn't have won if he didn't cheat. And unlike you, I think a first-ballot Hall of Fame has a certain cachet that means something, which is why, like Beltran didn't get in, why some other people don't get in. And he was, forget it, Shirley, I think there's nothing wrong with this. You cheated, you sullied the game, maybe twice, at least once, and wait a year.
All right, so Martin, does Brady get to wait a year?
I don't categorize. That's a great question. And frankly, I think Eli Manning, I'm 50-50 on. Absolutely. When he was great, he was great. When he was average, he was really average. But Brady, I think, is a bit different because he was a player on the field. And when he played the game, accurately, you could say, of course, the same for the coach. He was unlike any quarterback we've ever seen. And I don't think
Brady was suspended for 4 games for the Deflate game.
Yeah, true. And I think
Belichick didn't have anything to do with that.
I think Belichick should have been
Martin, I understand where you're coming from, but you got to be consistent. That's all I'm asking for is consistency. Who made the rule you cheated, you have to wait out a year, but then you could get in the second year? And Belichick, by the way, Beltran waited 4 years. The only guy punished, lost his job with the Mets, only guy punished for the cheating scandal, the sign-stealing scandal. Nobody else been punished. So it just doesn't make sense to me. And I want to hear people come forward and say, I did it, and this is why. Hey, Game Time brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 7 p.m., the Rangers are on Long Island. to play the Islanders at UBS Arena. Coverage begins 6:30 p.m. on 1050 ESPN. 7 p.m., St. John's Red Storm host the Butler Bulldogs at Madison Square Garden. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. on the ESPN New York app. And at 7:30, the Knicks are in Toronto to play the Raptors. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. right here on 880 ESPN. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. It was announced yesterday that Aaron Judge will be on the cover of MLB The Show. That'll be the second time he would have been on the cover. Only one other player has had the honor of being on twice. Do you know who it is? I'm going to wait. Give you a little clue. Catcher. Another clue. Twin. Yep, Joe Mauer, the only other Major League Baseball player to be on the cover of MLB The Show twice. So congratulations to Aaron Judge. Baseball also announced they've moved the trade deadline to August 3rd, 6 p.m. So 3 extra days. I'd like to know why. Nobody's explained it yet, but it's August 3rd, 6 p.m. Coming up, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Happy birthday to Alan Alda. He's 90. I know Don loves Alan Alda. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg next. See everybody.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a